Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here on Monday the 30th of March with your Flying Weather week and weekend ahead outlook, brought to you exclusively by Fly Magazine in association with weatherschool.co.uk. Now, of course, we have no flying still in the UK, but as I said to you last week, what I'm going to do is keep these videos going, but more with an emphasis on explaining why the weather is doing what it's doing. So more of an emphasis on the teaching side of things for you. And one of the things I did say was that I'd love to answer your questions about Met. So those burning questions that you've been dying to ask for a long, long time. It'd be great if we took the opportunity at the moment with this spare time that we've got to answer your questions. So I asked you to send me your emails, your questions to questions@weatherschool.co.uk. And indeed, that's exactly what you did. So if you haven't sent your question yet, feel free to do it. You can still send it in to me, questions@weatherschool.co.uk. But I've got one of those questions answered coming up for you in just a second. As far as this week's weather goes, we've got plenty of dry weather. We've got sunny spells. The winds are going to ease, but there will be some rain in Scotland. Unfortunately, it looks like it would have been quite a decent flying week. So Mother Nature, you owe us big time when things get back on course. Okay, right, so to your weather question. Now, the one I've selected is from Niels Baker, and Niels asks, what element of the weather is easiest to predict accurately? So could that be wind speed, direction, cloud base, or temperature, etc.? Because obviously some are more important to pilots than others. Well, Niels, absolutely, there are certain elements I'm only too aware of that are more important to pilots than others. When it comes to forecasts, when we're looking at models, so when you're looking at apps, because all apps are is just raw model output. There's no human input into models at all. So it's just raw output, which is why I always say, look, you must check Form 215, the METARs and the TAFs before you go flying, because they're actually produced by humans, so they've had some human input into them. But when we're looking at raw model data, actually one of the most accurate elements is pressure, so that's QNH. And also wind direction and wind speeds are normally pretty good as well. That's what I find to be the most accurate elements in the forecasts. The ones that aren't, that you have to be really careful with, and I take TAFs out of this and 215. You have to be very, very careful when you're looking at apps and model output for things like cloud bases, things like cloud tops as well. Have to be super, super careful with those because they're just not handled that well by the models, and they are so dependent on local topography as well. So got to be really careful with things like cloud bases. Visibility is another one, not forecast well by the models. On some occasions, the models are getting much better at picking out areas of fog, but actually best thing to do is to learn how to forecast it yourself. Now that's quite a slinky link into my SKUTs course online, my pilot's guide for to SKUTs, which you can study online now. Loads of you've done it already. This is the perfect opportunity to do it. Yeah, look, I'm not just going to flog this to you. Go to weatherschool.co.uk and have a look there. I know that I mention it most weeks, but you'll see there how you can forecast things like cloud bases and fog yourself. The stuff that the models can't do very well. And here it is at Weather School. Just go to Aviation, click on a Pilot's Guide to SKUTs, and you'll see all the information about the course there. You can do it now. You get lifetime access to it, and you've got your free ebook on there as well. But that just helps you. And the reason I put that together is for exactly this reason, that actually being able to better predict bases and winds, etc., yourself is what I think is lacking from the education of pilots, of Met at the moment. So do go along and check out the course. But yeah, absolutely, Niels, great question, great question. So keep them coming. Send to questions@weatherschool.co.uk. Okay, this is how things shape up then as far as the forecast is concerned. Hope you like that little question section. I thought it quite nice to that little bit of Q&A. Let me know what you think. Hopefully it's useful for you. So this is where we are today then. I'll just briefly go through the forecast because obviously there's not a lot we can do. North-northeasterly flow, bringing some showers again onto these eastern coasts of England. This is almost like a semi-Arctic maritime air mass that's bringing these showers, but they're only very, very light. They've only got quite shallow tops, hence the reason for those light showers. Further west, unfortunately, it's flyable. It looks like we are going to be in for a fair day. Now, for Tuesday, ridge of high pressure extends from west of Ireland. Here it is, ridging through the UK. That bringing fair conditions for most, and I think some reasonable spells of sunshine through Tuesday as well, and it is going to be a dry day. Probably quite breezy across southern parts of the country. You see there how close together the isobars are. Then we get into Wednesday, and a weak front up towards the north on Wednesday, bringing strong winds and some outbreaks of rain to northern and western parts of Scotland, becoming non-VFR here. I hate doing this because I'm going to say it's VFRable across most parts of England, Wales and Ireland during the course of Wednesday. You notice there again this ridge of high pressure. There's that nose look of high pressure that extends across southern Ireland and across southern parts of the UK. Then on to Thursday, and for Thursday, cold front is moving its way southeastwards through Scotland. Strong winds up here, generally non-VFRable. Notice that the flow is becoming more of a northwesterly, polar maritime air mass, sunshine and showers essentially behind that cold front. Further south, it's VFRable again. We've got more cloud around though, I think, during the course of Thursday, but it's not bad. And then for Friday, ridge of high pressure building into the south on Friday, bringing some fair conditions. I think some showers across northern areas, again brought in on the northwest wind. But because that northwest wind is easing, so the showers will be easing as well. And then actually the weekend's looking pretty good. Saturday, high pressure to the south. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's flyable again on Saturday. Some outbreaks of rain towards northern and western parts of Scotland, and non-VFRable there. And then Sunday, again, generally VFRable across southern and eastern areas. Maybe a little bit of drizzle across southern and western coasts of Ireland. Now, just something to be aware of here is that when you do get this south to southwesterly wind, it can develop low cloud across southwestern coasts. That's when we can get drizzle and stratus cloud running up these western coasts. Always something just to be aware of when that wind changes direction into that southerly direction, and some bits and pieces of rain as well affecting western parts of Scotland associated with the warm front that we see there. So I will leave you with that for now, but hopefully you like this question and answers idea. I've got in the back of my mind as well, I'm going to do a live webinar either this week or next week, which will be called Forecast With Me. And what I'm going to do is show you live charts, and we're going to pretend that we're going on a flight the following day, and I'm going to produce a forecast for you for the following day using free information that you can get from anywhere and that you can do in a matter of minutes yourself. So I'm planning that for either this week or next week. I'll announce it via the Weather School Facebook page and also the weekend forecast list. So if you're not on that weekend forecast list yet, let me just see if I've got the slide here. Do I have it here? No, I don't. Send a blank email to aviationweather-subscribe at weatherweb.net. So aviationweather-subscribe at weatherweb.net. Or just look for the Weather School Facebook group. Just go onto Facebook, type in there Weather School, that will come up. Or on Twitter, just follow at Weather School, and I'll announce all of that through those various different channels. But as I say, I'm planning that this week or possibly next week. I think it may be Wednesday this week, but I will let you know. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. Don't forget, A Pilot's Guide to Scooties, the online course, is there. And yes, I am working on other online courses as well, so you can do those during our period of being grounded. But whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Get your questions in now. Keep the sun shining. I hope you have a great and a healthy week ahead. Thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining, and